After years of contentious back and forth, a circuit court judge has just ruled in the case of Sullivan Island Maritime Forest. Joining us with that update is Cyndy Ewing, board member for the organization Sullivan's Island for All. Great to have you with us. Take us through just a brief history, if you wouldn't mind, so that we understand better why the Maritime Forest is so important to the people of Sullivan's Island.
The history goes back to 1975. Sullivan's Island has a fabulous problem to have, which is our beaches accreting as opposed to eroding. So where the front beach houses stand now was actually the beach in the 70s. And then as it started accreting, there was a chance to have streets and houses built. So the town and the front beach homeowners got together and they said, we don't want development. So the land was protected first in 1975 and then again in 1991. Through the Low Country Land Trust. And that was so no homes or streets would be built in front of the front beach homes and that the land would be protected in its natural state.
And so here we fast forward to 2010, and then just several years ago, there have been many lawsuits filed so that homeowners who are beach facing can cut down portions of the maritime forest either to improve their view, to build upon their property, et cetera, right? So this has been a very contentious fight between people who want to preserve the maritime forest versus those who want to have the option to tear it down. So let me ask you, this recent ruling by the circuit court judge, what exactly is the ruling about?
The ruling is about the language and the lawsuit settlement that was signed by was voted by a divided town council October 7th, 2020, which was in the middle of the pandemic,
of course,
with less than 48 hours notice. And so the judge ruled, and it was unequivocal, that the language was, and the lawsuit settlement was invalid and unenforceable, because what it did was it actually took away the freedom and the power of our town council to govern.
Because what we were seeing is essentially the option to have front-facing homes, property owners, to cut down portions of the maritime forest, to have that grandfathered in perpetuity, so that really there was little to no protection whatsoever, no matter who was on town council in the future for the next 100, 200 years, that there was no power within those particular councils to protect the forest, essentially. So the circuit court judge ruled in favor of essentially protecting the forest.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely.
We talked to Mayor Patrick O'Neill, Sullivan's Island Mayor Patrick O'Neill, a couple of years ago when this was all going on during the pandemic, and it was kind of breathtaking to hear that things were being moving so very fast, and it just brings back to the question of why, knowing that we've got storm surge, hurricanes, other natural evolution occurring on an island, why you would want to remove such an important and essential part of our ecology. It's not just a place for animals and other creatures to live, but protection for the residents.
Correct. And we had a 2010 consulting report, and these were handpicked consultants by the front beach homeowners, by the way, and what they found was that the threats, our major threats, are hurricanes, storm surge, flooding, and sea level rise, and that the best protection against those are having dense, tall trees in the largest amount of area.
Yeah. So what do you think is the next step? So now that we've got that circuit court ruling, do you think people are still going to fight the fight, or are we going to see maybe things calming down just a little bit?
I think that's a question for other people to answer.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, but what we'd like to see going forward, now our town council is actually able to discuss this. The lawsuit was so so strict that they weren't even allowed to discuss this in any meetings.
Wow, well, you can't get anywhere unless you can communicate about it. Well,
Correct.
Cyndy, I appreciate that. And I just want our viewers to know that we've reached out to council people Greg Hammond and Kay Smith. We hope to have them on. They are on the other side of this issue, so they always have a welcome seat here. I want to thank you again, Cyndy, for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back after this.